It's a Missouri team 6-0 on the young season, taking on a team that's had the reverse so far through the season. They are 0-6, but a Bulldogs team that under fourth-year head coach Eric Martin shared a regular season crown in the MEAC with Norfolk State last year. Lost them by 1 point. They were just 2 points away from making it to the NCAA tournament when they lost that conference championship game. With that, we're off and running on a Tuesday. Sean Phillips Jr. back in the lineup after missing a couple of games due to illness. That's the biggest note from the jump here, as well as the news that Missouri released earlier today that Jaden Stone injured his hand at practice yesterday. He's out about 4 to 6 weeks. He is here in attendance and wearing a cast, so this deep team will be tested a little bit more. That provides a big spark for them off the bench. Anthony Robinson, a great kick. Sebastian Mack, the open three. Twirls out. And a foul on the rebound that will go against Cameron Clark, the senior from Gwinnett, Georgia. So first foul against South Carolina State.
And just going to, Jaden Stone, the injury to him, just for a team like the Mizzou Tigers, Coach Gates has so much depth, and that's a good feeling when you know that you can have someone step into that position, fill that role, and you don't miss a lot. Jaden Stone will be missed in this game, but the Missouri Tigers will pick up those pieces.
Anthony Robinson with 3, the junior from Tallahassee, Florida. Had 11 points last time on 6 assists and 5 boards, too. For South Carolina State, it's a very deep team. They press you just about the entirety of the game. They go 11 or 12 deep. They've had 11 different players start games this year. Cameron Clark missed the first 3 games. He gets blocked away. Never too early for some stuffing from Sean Phillips Jr.
And he's going to be in his kitchen all night. I know it's not Thanksgiving yet, but he's going to be in the kitchen all night in the offensive player's face every single time.
Look inside for Mark Mitchell, able to turn the lob and the finish. Welcome back to the rotation, Sean Phillips Jr. South Carolina State, you look at their lineup. Jaden Johnson is the preseason MEAC Player of the Year, and the only man on the roster who has started the first 6 games, now the first 7. Cameron Clark, second on the team, with scoring with 12 points a contest. Foul away from the ball. This will go on Anthony Robinson. But how about this fast start? We talk about the quality shooting. It's coming from the outside and the inside early.
And you see that flare screen right there. Anthony Robinson getting to the corner, getting his feet set and knocking it down. And then the high-low action. Coach Smith-Peters talked about this earlier. Just getting into the high post, dumping it down, and that's what's going to happen a lot. If you can hit the middle of that zone or the defense, it's an easy high-low dump down to the big.
Phillips, the leading rebounder on the team. Last time out, he went 5 of 10 from the field against Prairie View A&M. Had a career-high 16 points at his Tigers debut, too.
And what's so impressive about this Missouri Tigers team is their ability to pass the ball. They have bigs that can pass, and they have bigs that can shoot the ball, and that stretches the court, makes it easier for the guards.
Here is Jaden Johnson, the sophomore from Brooklyn. So much pressure on his shoulders after that preseason award. Pick out to Bronsted Jr. He hit 93s last year. Misses this one. The transfer from Edison State College. He averaged 26 points a game. It's a great addition to this Eric Martin team. Contested 3 this time. Enemy might have gotten a piece. They'll say no, it's an air ball. And a giveaway towards South Carolina State. So there is Eric Martin in year 4. Team that had a regular season share of the championship a year ago, made it to the championship. They lost by 1 to Norfolk State. He's a guy who learned under the tutelage of the legend Bob Huggins at West Virginia, where he was an assistant for 16 years, then got a chance. Struggled in year 1 with the Bulldogs, improved in year 2, a pretty good lead. Another massive lead last year. Really got this program going in the right direction, despite the 0-6 start this year. They're a team that always schedules very difficult, ton of road games against high-caliber teams.
Yeah, and we spoke to Coach Martin earlier today, and he just talked about being patient with young men and not pressing we're not pulling the fire alarm right now. He kind of talked about not having an emergency. And you see, I think there was a double foul or a warning called on the 2 bigs. So physical play early, you can expect that. Someone's trying to, establish their territory and kind of mark their ground. So something to be expected.
That's 15 on 15, 2 7-footers going at it in the post, trying to set the tone inside the first few minutes. Johnson gets the screen, kicks it back out. Bronsted another try straight away. It's off the heel, but kept alive. Chance to reload. On the baseline, driving right into the wall. It is Sean Phillips Jr. Just a strong position and a strong frame from him down low.
And a great wall of discipline by Sean Phillips.
Dennis Gates also in year 4, also a man coming off a season in which the squad was very much improved from the year prior. 10-8 in conference last year. After winless a season ago, off to a 5-0 start here tonight. Sebastian Mack with another 3, and this one's good. Second triple already for the Tigers, an 8-0 start.
And you see just the difference between the two teams, and the numbers show that. You know, South Carolina State really struggles to make the three-point shot, and they've struggled this game thus far. On the other end, Mizzou, just tremendous from the three-point line, and they're showing that right now, showing why they're a top 10 team in Division I basketball from three-point line.
Morrow off the mark. There's Javon Porter, coming off the perfect game he had last time out. 9 of 9 from the field, 19 points. Nasty step back. Left it a little short. Rebound goes to Florian Tedebay, the senior out of Martinique, the island in the Caribbean. Like a foul on the way up, caught the elbow. So trip to the free throw line for Jaden Johnson. 2 of 4 start from distance for a team that's 5th in the country in three-point percentage.
You see Sebastian Mack cutting through, and the defense just getting lost. He steps back, takes his time, and knocks down a three-point. If you're South Carolina State, you got to close out to that. You know the Tigers can shoot the ball from anywhere on the court. You got to close out to that. You can't get lost on that.
45% from distance as that swirls out. So that's 5th in the country amongst D1 programs. They're also 2nd in the country behind only Iowa, and it's a tiny margin in terms of field goal percentage overall. As T.O. Barrett comes in for the first time. Sean Phillips Jr. will check out with Anthony Robinson. But, I mean, this team, talk about Dennis Gates, you know, you mentioned it even before the season began, building confidence here in November with the scheduling. This is the 6th of 7 straight home games. And they're shooting at an incredible clip. And it's been consistent. They've shot 50% or better. Saw it in the open in every single game this year.
Yeah, and that confidence is a major thing. Just seeing that ball go through the basket over and over, that builds confidence, and that gets you into the conference play and into the NCAA tournament. That gets you there, and you're making shots.
Great extra passing to get Porter the open 3. He didn't attempt a 3 last game. Slicing his way in. Draws in a few dark blue jerseys, kicks it out to Barrett, who cans the 3. Already 3 triples for Mizzou inside of 4 minutes.
And that play is made by Javon Porter, getting inside the lane, getting both feet in the lane. The Tigers talk about getting downhill, getting 2 feet in the lane, and then making plays from there. Javon Porter did that, swung it out to T.O. Barrett for the easy 3.
That's the 3rd turnover for South Carolina State as Mizzou off to a blistering start. Well, for Mizzou, they got some good news last week with the return of Honor Boateng, and good news tonight with the return of Sean Phillips Jr. Missed the last 2 games, but still a team that's been beleaguered by injuries. Jaden Stone, this is the first game he'll miss tonight. Trent Pierce missing his 7th game already. And then you see Trent Burns, who is available, the 7'5" redshirt freshman, to make potentially his collegiate debut this evening.
Yeah, and I'm excited about watching him play. I got the opportunity to watch him a few times in practice, and he can really space the floor out. He can stretch the floor. He's a great rebounder. And then he's another big for Mizzou that can just pass the ball so good. He's just a great passer, getting everybody involved, can do big stuff in the high post, high-low actions, just tremendous passer.
You made it to the pros in Europe and in the NBA. How many 7'5" guys have you been around who can shoot 3s?
You know, I can't say. You know, my time was a little bit longer ago when the bigs weren't shooting 3s quite as much. But you know what? 0. Actually 0. I was around Greg Oden a little bit in Portland, but didn't see him shoot many 3s.
There's a lot of fans here in Mizzou Arena and watching at home. I'm sure that are fans of the Tigers that are going to love to see what Trent Burns has to offer coming off the bench tonight.
You see South Carolina State mixing it up a little bit on defense right now. And I like to see more of that. They got to take some chances. They got to gamble a little bit in the backcourt and see if they can come up with anything.
Porter with the 3. Incredible start. 4 triples already. The lead is 13. One of the best three-point shooting teams in the nation is shooting it lights out to start.
And Javon Porter coming in the game and making it his imprint right away. Getting downhill, making the great pass, getting his assist on the first one. Next time down, hitting the open 3. Good job, Javon Porter, coming in ready to play.
Porter had that double-double last time out for South Dakota. Jaden Johnson draws in 2, shoots the 3 over the top, off the top of the glass. And Javon Porter was doing a lot of that last game, too. 12 rebounds, 19 points in 24 minutes.
And you got to think Coach Gates believes that Javon Porter can be that double-double guy. He can give you a double-double on average, you know, night in and night out.
Lob over the top. Mitchell with position, and he gets the layup. Mitchell on the board, the leading scorer with his first points of the night, averaging just under 19 a game.
You know, Max, I'm looking at South Carolina State right now. I don't see it in their eyes. I don't see that sense of urgency. I don't see that chip on their shoulder. I don't see that frustration, that embarrassment that they maybe should feel right now in this moment. They got to go out and really take it to the Tigers and give that full effort.
They do not have a field goal now through 5.5 minutes, and Mizzou has barely missed a shot at this stage. Northweather with the sidestep, another three! Are you kidding? They can't miss! 19-1 out of the gate.
And Florian Tenenbaum right there for South Carolina State, goes up, contests the shot. Luke Northweather steps over for the step back three. You got to contest it again. You got to give second and third and fourth efforts if you're South Carolina State if you want to be in this game at all.
The three-point shooting, as much as anything for Mizzou, feels like it can be contagious. And right now, this feels like everybody wants a shot from the perimeter, right?
And when you're knocking them down at that rate, might as well take them. And they're open shots. You see Anthony Robertson right here getting his feet set. Sebastian Mack coming out, getting his feet set as well. And when those feet get set and you're squared to the rim, great opportunity to make shots. T.O. Barrett again, feet set, shoulder square, knockdown. It's like a game of cornhole at the barbecue with your friends right now. It's just open shot after open shot.
Oh, barbecue sauce. It's 5 threes from 5 different guys.
That's amazing. And the confidence they have, they shoot this ball like they know it's going in. Like if they miss, they look at the rim like something's wrong with the rim. That's how you should be. That confidence is sky high. And on the other side, South Carolina State, the confidence doesn't look very high. And I want these young men to get it going because this opportunity to play college basketball at a Division I level, that's an opportunity you got to seize, and you got to be so grateful for it.
19-1. It's an 11-0 run. An 0 for 6 start from the field to go with 3 turnovers for South Carolina State. Broxton Jr.'s missed a couple of threes. Team's leading scorer goes high off the window. Too strong with the putback dunk. Cameron Clark, skies out of nowhere.
And that's what Coach Martin talked about, just stealing extra plays, getting offensive rebounds, and trying to get extra points any way you can in this game.
It's got to be frustrating, though, that nobody picks up the basketball.
Yeah, they're lost in transition quite a bit, and they got to get matched up. And I got to hear more talking from the Bulldogs, a lot more talking to get matched up in transition. And it's not easy. It's definitely not easy.
Broxton gets walled off. Good kick off to the other side. Treadwell misses the three, and it's a foul on the floor. It'll go against Luke Northweather, but the Bulldogs hitting the glass. Like to see some aggressiveness and some energy here.
Right, and just getting down here, you see when you get both feet in the lane, good things happen, and then you got to follow it. You got someone cutting, and that cut turns into an easy putback, and they have to have more of this happen tonight if they even want to remotely cut into this lead.
A couple of offensive rebounds for a team that averages 12.5 offensive rebounds per contest. They had 16 last time out. They oddly also last faced South Dakota, both these teams' most recent opponent. Hang it in the air, and that's the backup point guard, Rainiel Wright, the junior from Inglewood, California. The West LA College transfer who's played a lot of minutes at the point guard spot in a spell for Jaden Johnson when he's on the bench. And
you know, Rainiel Wright came in, when he came in the game, he had this look on his face. He had a look on his face like he wasn't scared, and he came in attacking, has that Patrick Beverly mentality where he's just going to go at you, going to play hard defense, and he's going to attack downhill no matter who's there.
T.O. Barrett. Edging on the screen. Mitchell kicks it inside. What a find. Northweather with his second field goal. He's got an early 5.
We talk about the shooting ability of the Mizzou Tigers, but I think they're an underrated passing team. They pass the ball extremely well, especially their bigs, and they cut well off the ball. D-Wade cuts, and they make a lot of stuff happen without the ball.
Treadwell with a brick off the window, and what a rebound that was from Mater Boateng. You might see his minutes ratcheted up a little bit as he's getting a little healthier, and with the injury to Jaden Stone. Jacob Cruz, it's a big triple try. He misses this one. 997 points. Second effort, Barrett off the heel. That's alive again, though.
And you know the Mizzou fans wanted to see that three-point shot go down for Cruz to get his 1,000th point right there.
T.O. Barrett's got 5 points. He had just 2 off the bench in 9 minutes last game. You know, Cruz, who's 3 points away, he wants it to come from distance.
For sure, and I think every fan in here wants to see that from him as well. Rainiel Wright goes down low for Clark. Skip into the corner.
3 off the mark. This Jamal Miles, who started last game, but only lost 3 minutes, picked up a couple fouls.
I think South Carolina State's really going to have to focus on getting downhill and trying to get both feet in the lane. When they've done that, they've made good things. Good things have happened.
Mitchell all the way in. It's too easy. Mark Mitchell just does everything. The team's leading scorer, second in rebounding, second in assists, and getting to the line, the 10th most tries from the charity stripe of any player in the country. The lead is 22 now. Off the window, and that was a heady play from James Morrow to not touch that when it was on the cylinder.
And you see Ray Neal-Wright getting downhill again and just attacking relentlessly. He's a player for the Bulldogs is not afraid to attack the Tigers.
Cruz for 1,000 points, and he's 0 for 2 to start. Mitchell's right there, though. Two-handed flush and the horn. Mizzou's made 9 of their last 12 shots. Up by 22, playing at a frenetic pace. They've already made 5 threes from 5 different guys. They're getting it going from distance and now finding the layups as well. Mark Mitchell, just under 18 a game, loves to get downhill and take it all the way to the cup. It is all Tigers here so far tonight. Here's this week's featured SEC Network men's basketball matchup as Denzel Aberdeen, Otega Oweh, 19th ranked Kentucky hosts Tennessee Tech tomorrow night at Rupp Arena. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. You can also watch it on the all-new ESPN app. There's plenty of reasons to be smiling in Como here tonight. It's about as quality as an offensive start as you could have if you're Coach Gates. But I want to harp on one thing because, Jamal, it was something you actually asked Coach Gates earlier today. What's the one thing, if you could pick one, that you want to see here today? And he said, I want a positive assist-to-turnover ratio. I want it ideally to be about 2, right? He said, I want fewer than 10 turnovers. They have not turned the ball over yet tonight, and it's 6 assists to 0 turnovers, and that'll play.
And that's what Coach Gates asked for. You know, he didn't want more than 10 turnovers for the game, and he wanted a 2-to-1 positive assist-to-turnover ratio, and he's getting that right now. I think on the other side of that, South Carolina State has to gamble some. They have to get up, play a little bit more aggressively, and try to speed the Tigers up. And I would like to see that, and then I would like to see the Tigers' response from that. How will they handle the ball, and will they get lackadaisical as the game goes on? I think this is one of those games that's great for them to just, you know, display their discipline and also their maturity if they can do that for an entire game of 40 minutes, which also Coach Gates talked about.
So look for the Tigers. Bronson, this is another triple. Slow start for him. He's 0 of 4 from the field, 0 of 3 from deep. Sean Phillips trying to post up, down low on the block. It's double team, spins right through it. Tried to power it up. Active hands, but he goes up soft touch with the left hand.
And just staying with it right there. Sean Phillips staying with it, being relentless on the boards, coming over the top, deposit into the 2-point transaction category for my man.
Just the man possessed down low. He was not giving up the rock. Koji trying to get the answer right back, and he does from straight away, high off the glass.
Max, you see good things happen for South Carolina State when they get the ball in the lane. When that ball touches lane, good things happen.
Phillips that time just lost the alley-oop attempt.
Great wall up just then by Sean Phillips. Awesome wall up, getting there, putting his chest into the defender, to the offensive player, and making it difficult for them.
Porter left alone. Put back from Boateng. Just drops it right back in.
Just honor Boateng, staying active, getting offensive rebounds. And, you know, you need someone like that on the team that doesn't require the ball a lot. It's going to make plays for you.
Will Broxton Jr. finally gets going. 12.5 points per game. That leads the team. Cruz another 3. Strong again. And he's got to be thinking about it, right? Spent a few nights, I'm sure, sleeping on the fact that he's on 997 points. But guy's had a great season, not just shooting. He's a strong take all the way in, but anybody missed the layup. Cruz going to have a much easier goal of it this time, right at the rim. Could have done it with an and 1, but he'll go to the free throw line anyways.
Yeah.
But this is a man who's rebounding really well, too. He's got 8 boards in 2 of the last 3. But Eider Boateng was welcome back last game for South Dakota. And a good job of attacking the glass.
And you see right here, he just goes in, you know, no resistance at all from the Bulldogs. Got to be able to find him, get a body, get into it.
Crowd can sense what's about to happen after this free throw. We got some important things unfolding, right? Cruz is at 998 points now. And Trent Burns is making his collegiate debut. The redshirt freshman out of Cypress, Texas. 7'5", ties up with the tallest player in program history. He's the second tallest active player in the country. Missed last year, and a welcome sight for a team that's got some guys back, but losing some more to injury. Great to see Trent Burns out there no matter what team you root for.
And he's a special, special player. Like I said, I got the opportunity to watch him a couple times in practice and in shoot around. Just a special talent. Really excited to watch him play.
He's anchoring the defense down low on this end. The lead is at 25 right now. Jada Johnson slithers all the way in. A good kick out. Bronston just hasn't been able to get it going, though. Hit that mid-range shot, but this is another triple. Trent Burns, that's the family shot right there. And that's the pure joy, right? You know how much hard work and rehab and energy and time on the bench has gone into the return, so that's why there's smiles all over the place.
Yeah, a special moment for him and his mother. Just a very, very special moment.
You see, missed last season with the foot injury, a top prospect though, when he came out in 2024. We'll see exactly what kind of minutes he logs today, but we knew he was available for the first time, and when we asked Coach Gates, saying, well, what do you want to see from Trent Burns today? He said, simple basketball, right? I want to see an individual who's not out there swinging for the fences, trying to hit the home run. I want to see him take the looks when he's open from deep and just play within himself, right? And see how he can impact the game, especially defensively, not just with blocks, but altering shots.
Yeah, and just letting the game come to him. He's a basketball player. He's done this a million times, and I'm sure there's probably some nerves going through him right now, but he'll figure it out within his first couple times up and down the court. It'll come to him. He'll get a dump down or a block or a rebound, and he'll be off to the races.
Jada Johnson pulling back the reins, quarterback in the offense, the second-year point guard. Treadwell triggers the three, and there's a rebound for Trent Burns. It's a different look lineup. You got a ton of length between him with 7'5" and Javon Porter out there. Rare chance maybe to leak out here for Noah Treadwell at South Carolina State. Treadwell coming off a career-high 15 points last game. That's a three for Bronston, who's a volume shooter. He's going to get his looks.
Yes, he is. And it's good for him to see a shot go down, especially from the three-point line, because it can be extremely frustrating when you have open looks and you're just not able to knock them down.
Under 8 media timeout here in Como. It's MIZ lead at South Carolina State by 22. 7:45 to go in this opening half. Bulldogs and the Tigers doing it on this Tuesday night in mid-Missouri. South Carolina State coming off a season in which they were 20-13, 11-3 in the MEAC, and that was after a 3-3 start. And you can see they've really challenged themselves again on the road. Coach Martin told us, hey, kids don't really understand it as much as I know, and I've been around the block the last few years. I got to pay the bills, so that's what we're playing. A lot of road games against really tough teams, and this team is trying to learn with the losses, right, and be able to maintain a certain level of confidence despite looking and seeing that goose egg in the win column.
Yeah, and I think it's important to move on from game to game. You can't think about the losses. You can't think about the 0-6 record. It's 0-0. You're going into a new game, a new opponent, and you know, maybe not even thinking about it as far as the opponent, but just play for yourself. Go out there and play with pride and compete. And I really want to see that from the Bulldogs. It's going to be a learning curve for them. Obviously, they got new pieces to the puzzle, but you know, just going out competing will be half the battle.
It's a very solid program. Sebastian back. Thought about the three. Works it back out to Anthony Robinson. But Eric Martin in his playing days, 2 years under Bob Huggins at Cincinnati, made an Elite Eight and a Final Four. So he's been there, done that when it comes to the turning. Mid-range two, left it short. Robinson follows his own shot, gets down low, couldn't finish with the left hand, but he'll go to the free throw line, where he was 4 of 4 last time out a week ago on Thursday. So Eric Martin, when we talked to him, this is an old school type guy, right? He said, hey, I don't want to be out here shooting 43s a game. I grew up in the 80s with the Celtics and with the Pistons, and I grew up in California watching the Lakers a ton. He wants to work it in the post. So for them, it's great to get Cameron Clark back the last 3 games. He's been shooting it really well, and he was a pleasure to shoot around.
Yeah, and he wants to get post touches. You know, play inside out. You see that they really struggled to shoot the ball from the 3-point line. So he wants to go inside out, and you know, it's just not their strength right now. And it doesn't mean it won't be. They're just, you know, simply not shooting well from the 3-point line. But like I said, these are character building moments for the Bulldogs and things to learn from, and they'll grow from it. They won their first 20-win season in 22 years. Under Coach Martin last season, and it's not quite the same this season. It's the start, but they can get there, and they want to peak around conference play is what he talked about earlier today.
From 5 wins to 14 wins to 20 wins overall in its first 3 seasons. If that's not steady increase in the quality of a program, I don't know what is. Bronston hits again. That's his second 3 now. He's up to 8 points, 3 of 8 from the field after a sluggish start.
Great for him to see that basketball go in. Someone that is a shooter and a scorer, that does so much for the confidence to see that ball go in.
14 points last time out. Phillips Jr. gets the bucket and the foul. He'll enter the free throw line. Been very active in his return. He was out there all of shoot around. A little bit of chippiness after the fact here. Nothing but smiles and love. Hey, what are you eating for Thanksgiving? Oh, you know, my favorite side's mac and cheese. What's yours?
Right, and Sean Phillips was telling him his favorite side is yams, because that's what he's doing all night, and he's been doing it. Just his motor is just impressive, you know, very impressive. And you see bigs like that sometimes use their size and use their talent and their God-given ability, but he's using this ticker right here, and he's going after everything. He's making it difficult for him, and if they don't step up, they're going to be in for a rude Thanksgiving dinner, man, with this man eating all the yams tonight.
The Arizona State transfer misses the free throw, and that is certainly an area of struggle for the Tigers at this point in the season. They're 279th. It's red hot all of a sudden. Owen Bronston Jr. It did not take long for him to be feeling it.
That's all it takes for a shooter. To see that ball go in a couple times, that's all it takes.
He's got 11 points. Taken 9 of the team's 23 shots. He's got 4 of their 8 makes. He's got half of them. Back up top for Mack, who will reset. Got a post up. Phillips down lows. Work it on Tiak Tyndall, the true freshman. Lob over the top and a little bit too tall. The Bulldogs really growing into this game on both ends, it feels like, and a lot of it is through this man.
Yep, Owen must just get to his spot. And like I said, when you get out in transition, if you can get the feet set, everything gets so much easier. And once you see that first make go in from the 3-point line, everything gets so much easier from there.
He started 6 straight games, the team's leading scorer. He's put up 14 plus in 4 of the last 5, and he's on a terrific pace here tonight to continue that stretch. Deficit down to 19 for the Bulldogs. It was as high as 25. Oh, he's got a window again. Lets it fly. Just a little short. Bounces right back out, though. Kept alive.
I think
Clark was looking for the post down low.
I think he lost his mouthpiece, too, and something flew out of his mouth.
Tyndall going to work. Bowling ball down low from the freshman Tiak Tyndall.
And this is a stage in the game where you can't get lackadaisical if you're the Tigers. You got to keep playing with pace. You got to take care of the ball. You got to keep executing. And what South Carolina State is doing right now, they're switching up the defense. They're keeping the Tigers off balance and making them use some of that clock. And they're getting matched up in transition as well.
Steele Barrett kicks it all the way back out. Mack got stuck in the corner. Fancy footwork, but he can't hit the mid-range float shot. South Carolina State's bringing all the juice right now. Jada Johnson in transition. A little short. Mitchell got stripped on the way up but fouled. That 3 goes, you might have seen a Dennis Gates timeout, because this has been a little bit of a poor stretch for the Tigers offensively, and all of a sudden South Carolina State not just hitting the 3s, but showcasing it down low on the block.
It's just a big play right there. Just getting into the body of Javon Porter, bumping a second time, a third time, getting him off balance, going up over the top. I think Javon Porter in that play has to give a little more resistance, send him to the baseline, give him more resistance.
So that is foul 7. Came about 93 feet away from the bucket, so free throws for Mitchell. 10th most attempts of any player in the country. Every Saturday, Marty and McGee at SEC Nation getting you ready for football with SEC game previews and the latest news from around the conference. This week they'll be in Knoxville at the University of Tennessee, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. Both shows are on the SEC Network and the all-new ESPN app. So good start from the free throw line tonight. 6 of 8 for the Tigers. 3 for 3 for Mark Mitchell, and he shoots it at a 65% clip. Northweather plucks the rebound out of the sky. Pushing the pace, the lob up ahead. That would have gotten Jacob Cruz past 1,000 points. What a moment that could have been. Could have been an exclamation point. MBB drives, lost it on the way up, but smashed Mack with the foul.
And I like that. I like that take by MBB just then. If you're the Tigers, you got to close out more under control and can't allow that drive. They haven't shot the ball well, with the exception of Owen Brunston. They have not shot the ball well from 3 on that. I say you close out a little shorter, give them that 3-pointer, get a high hand up, and don't let them get around you on that closeout.
We're seeing some fearlessness, right? Deion Tyndall, the freshman, going at it down low. Florian MBB, who's 6'6". This team has some height, especially for a MEAC team, a mid-major program. They've got a lot of length, too. At MBB, another guy who's fearless with the ball, not afraid to put it on the deck and drive right at the defense.
And you're starting to see SCSU come alive a little bit right now. That you see that dazed look that they had in their eyes at the beginning of the game. You're seeing that kind of go away with made shots, and they're starting to be a little more aggressive on defense, and they want to make this a game now.
MBB tied a season high with 11 points last time out, after he had 0 points in just 7 minutes the game prior versus Chattanooga. You get a sense Eric Martin loves to play the hot hand, really shortens up the rotation as the game goes on. Seeing who's doing well, what matchups he likes, what rotations are playing well. There's a pickpocket. James Morrow going the other way. Morrow trying to go coast to coast, spins the hook shot, good.
And that play was created by Raynell Wright being in the right spot, forcing him into the help being there on the spin. That's how that steal was created. Raynell Wright is doing a fantastic job on defense. I like that substitution just then by Coach Eric Martin.
Mitchell gets doubled. Finds a wide open Mack. Teardrop floater, no, but that is a foul, and that is free throws. Tigers don't have a field goal in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The defense has really picked up. James Morrow hits his hand in the bread basket, rips it away, and then goes coast to coast the other way, going right at Mark Mitchell. Unafraid, the junior from Jacksonville, Florida. So it's a 21-14 run. This is South Carolina State team. They're not going to be intimidated. They started the year against a very, very difficult Louisville team in a true road game. The last time they faced Mizzou was in this gym back in 2023. It was in November. They actually had a 16-point lead against the Tigers in the first half. They led by 2 at halftime. It really got away from them. 82-59 was the final, so Mizzou won by 23. But they know they can come here and compete. This is a team that was 2 points away from making the NCAA tournament a year ago, even though they lost 7 of their 8 leading scorers, and they only returned 6 from last year's 12.
Yeah, and that's kind of the nature of college basketball right now. You kind of got to work with what you have and from year to year. And, you know, there's some turnover sometimes, and you got to do the best with what you have, and they're going to mesh. They're going to mesh. And I think the thing that's impressive about this team is their ability to switch defenses up. You know, Coach Martin and even Coach Gates talked about they can play up to 9 different defenses. And when they get into their groove and get the offense uncomfortable, that's when they start to see some success. And that's what you're seeing right now.
Treadwell steps back, 19-footer. He got fouled by T.O. Barrett, so he'll head to the free throw line. I feel like you could also argue that for the Bulldogs, the schedule of the MEAC might be an advantage for a team that throws so many different defenses at you. They can be hard to prep for on short rest. And in the MEAC, you're playing on Saturday, then you only have Sunday off. You're right back to work on Monday. Yeah,
and Coach Martin talked about that not being the most ideal thing, but it's just something that they have to do in that conference. And, you know, when you can switch up defenses like that, it's really hard, like you said, to prep for them. And, you know, just watching Mizzou prep for them today and shoot around and even practice yesterday, it was confusing for them at times. And one thing that the coaches really stressed was pass fakes. With every defense that they play, pass fakes and shot fakes will get you open and will be able to get that ball to the middle of the court. and make plays from there.
That was a drill that almost added a little bit of levity towards the end of Mizzou's practice. Hey, let's see your best ball fake. They got everybody lined up on the baseline with the basketball. Let's see your best shot fake, and you're just going back and forth.
Yeah, just kind of
very fundamental. Right?
It was something you would do when you're younger, but it lightened things up. And actually, that was a good thing to do, because when they do that, when they pass fake and you can get that ball to the middle, good things happen. And we've kind of stopped seeing that happen in this little span over the last few minutes, where they haven't really gotten the ball to the middle. Now we see Martin Mitchell get the ball to the middle and in a good position to score.
Foul against Johnson. It's a great baseline cut from Honor Boateng, but the help side defense, the communication's been great defensively for South Carolina State after maybe the opening 6 or 7 minutes.
It's definitely gotten better, and I think maybe he bobbled that pass just a little bit too. Got a little bit happy with it. Sebastian Mack coming up with the loose ball and kind of selling that one on the sideline to get himself to the free throw line.
He knows smart Hollywood. Play. He went to UCLA.
Hey, smart play right there. Smart play right there.
It's an Oscar-nominated. I'm not going to say flop. He got hit. That was certainly a foul.
Yeah, he definitely got hit, but we have to make sure.
You got to make him know.
You got to make him know. Got to make sure the refs call it.
Full-court press look for Mizzou this time out.
And both teams have the ability to play a few different defenses. You'll see Mizzou play the three-quarters court press, kind of trying to throw your tempo off, throw your rhythm off, the continuity of the offense. And you'll see them do that from time to time. And it's going to be a little chess match from the defensive side of things.
Turnover, foot on the line. So Eric Martin and Bob Huggins, they go way back. Not only did Martin play under Huggins when he spent his final 2 years collegiately as a player with Cincinnati in the Elite Eight in the Final Four in the 1991-92 season and the 92-93 season. But then he learned under him as an assistant for 16 seasons. And this team and this program embody a lot of those. Huggins, you think about West Virginia, right? What's the pressure they're going to bring you? They're going to rebound well and attack you with the defense.
Yeah, just a great guy to learn from.
Boateng with the three. First triple in a while. The percentage should dip down to 36, but Boateng hits one, and now it's 6 threes, still from 6 different guys. Nobody with multiple.
And what you notice is South Carolina State has been doing is one and done for the Tigers. They were getting one shot, then collecting the rebound, securing the rebound, and going. When you give a team like Mizzou second chance opportunities and third chances, you better believe they're going to hit one of those 2 or 3 shots.
Florian Tindebay checks in for Noah Treadwell. Anthony Robinson will come in. And T.O. Barrett will check out. Second chance points, you see it 19-6. 9-4 the offensive rebounding advantage for Mizzou, who's obviously got some advantages in the size department and the length department in this matchup versus a team out of the MEAC. Morrow misses the free throw. Mitchell's there to collect it. That's his 6th rebound to go with 9 points and 3 assists in 13 minutes.
And at the free throw line, if you're James Morrow, you got to knock those down. You can't leave food on the table when you're hungry. You know, you can't. Like we said, we'll go back to the Thanksgiving theme. You can't leave food on the table. You need every point you can get on the road. You gotta knock those down.
Can I come back at you? If there's any occasion to leave food on the table, it's the leftovers at Thanksgiving, right? That stuff lasts for a few days.
To-go plates are the best. They're better cold than warm.
You got to put everything in a sandwich the next day and have it for lunch. That's the move, in my humble opinion.
Well, you got to bring me one of those back at some point. Then I'm gonna need one of those leftover Thanksgiving sandwiches.
We can do that. We can do that. Such a great week, feast week. So many terrific matchups. There were a million games played out in Vegas yesterday, deep into the night. That Alabama-Gonzaga game had a lot of people tuned into an absolute thriller between 2 fantastic teams. Boateng down the baseline again, just drops it in, and this time gets fouled.
Boateng is so good at moving and cutting without the ball. He's always in motion, always moving, whether that's for a cut or for an offensive rebound. You see him right here, sees the ball go to the middle, anticipates. When that ball goes to the middle, you can dive on that backside, good things happen. And he anticipates that happening, gets to the right spots, and this is second or third time he's done that this game.
We talk about the intelligence, right? That's just a man who is anticipating everything, who's missed the large bulk of the season, right? But the anticipation's there, and then he's got that delicate finish.
Right. And what's impressive about it is, sometimes with cutting and different things in the basketball game, your rhythm gets thrown off by missing several games. And it doesn't seem like his rhythm is thrown off at all. His timing is good. He's catching the ball, going up, strong takes. It's a good player in Honor Boateng.
Mizzou 11 of 13 from the free throw line, 85%. Compared to just over 67 on the year entering today. Rainiel Wright with a great kick into the corner. Shot fake from Morrow. Trying to work it beyond Northweather. Fades instead. Left that well short.
Just left it a little short. I really like Rainiel Wright being in the game. He just has that look in his. He's not afraid. Contested shot. Tough finish. You're not doing much with that in transition. With the SEC team coming at you with a full-headed steam, but Rainiel Wright still got in there and tried.
Right back the other way, it's Tenebe. Mizzou up to 53 points in this first half. But at that first media timeout, South Carolina State only had 1 point. Mark Mitchell hangs and hits the N1. The man can't miss tonight. He's 5 of 5 with 13.
Mark Mitchell just making it happen. He's just a crafty, very creative player. Crafty and is super athletic. I'm going to call that craftletic. That's a craftletic move by my man, Mark Mitchell, just getting in, making it happen. Can make it happen with either hand, close to the basket, right or left, either shoulder. I got you. Dropping the kids off at the pool just to show them how good his float game is. Just right over the top, man. Good play by Mark Mitchell.
That's got to feel good. That's got to bring you the confidence that, hey, everything's going tonight. As I said, he misses the free throw, but he's been solid from the line as well. It's a 12-2 run. Rainiel Wright, so shifty. He's got killer handles. That's a tough deep two. Cruz is there to clear things. A chance to hold for a shot. The game clock, shot clock differentials just under 6 seconds. Mizzou shooting 54% offensively.
Just
actually a few points below their season mark at 57.6. Wright pounding it defensively. Matt
That's great
peps all the
defense
way in,
right
kicks
there.
it out. They swirl it around. Mark Mitchell, shot clock at 5, right hand. And it's rounded out. Another good stop for South Carolina State. Rainiel Wright, no look, pass into the corner. Oh, foot on the line.
And the Bulldogs are super successful when they have one and dones on the defensive end. When they can get a stop and go the other way, they're super successful. One and done. Now, when they don't get the one and done, it doesn't go well for them.
That is turnover number 6. Dennis Gates is going to love that number for Mizzou. Just 4 turnovers. They go short. Max just going to hold on to it. 25-point edge for Mizzou in a game in which, at times, they looked absolutely unbeatable offensively.
They did, and I think getting out in transition, cutting to the basket, getting extra plays on offense, it goes well for Mizzou. And for the South Carolina State Bulldogs, when they can get the one and done, the things go well for them. So they got to continue playing with tempo, switching the defenses up, and making things difficult, and keeping Mizzou on their heels and guessing.
Tigers are plus 16 in second chance points, up by 25 at the break here at Mizzou Arena. Just about ready for half number 2 between Missouri and South Carolina State. The lead at 25 right now as things stand. With Jamal Tatum, I'm Max Thoma. We talked about from the jump, and really in those first few minutes, Mizzou was shooting just an incredible rate from threes. They're making a lot of them. First 5 made for 5 different guys, but then they started getting the ball downhill and to the rim at will and really controlling the interior.
Yeah, and they're very successful getting downhill and getting both feet in lane. And that opens up things for the outside shot, for the three-point shot. And it just gets everybody rolling on all cylinders. You see the excellent passing right there, the high-low action from Mark Mitchell. Just a great passer. Looping up Northweather, getting in, making things happen, and just continuing to attack the lane downhill. They have so much size and athletic ability. It is really hard for SU to stay in front of them.
How impressive is that? That was almost 1-on-4 from Mark Mitchell. And then Owen Broxton Jr., slow start, but man, he caught fire.
He did, and like I said, for shooters and scorers, all they have to do is see the ball go in the basket one time. And once that happens, that confidence gets sky high, and you can score in bunches. And, someone that's able to score, like Owen Brunston, it just takes one time. And that confidence is there, and he believes he can make every shot he shoots. And that's what he's doing right now, doing a great job. Got 11 on the night and continues to grow in confidence.
This Mizzou team had 6 players score in double figures last Thursday in the 102-68 win versus South Dakota. They got 5 players averaging in double figures at this stage in the season, and they're shooting 53%. And like we talked about in the open, they have shot 50% or better from the floor in every game this year, the first 6. The first time they've done that in the first 6 games to open a season since 1982, 43 years ago.
Yeah. We always talked about this as college basketball players. Something about being at home and the way those rims feel when you shoot the ball. Something about being at home, like it's easier to make shots almost. And that's what they're doing. They're leading one of the top teams in Division I basketball from the 2-point line and the 3-point line. That says something about your ability to make shots.
55-point opening half for the home Tigers in their 6th of 7 straight games here at Mizzou Arena. MBB got more aggressive as that half wore down. Jada Johnson still without a field goal. Only 2 attempts, both from 3. MBB trying to take Porter, kicks it back out.
Coach Eric Martin talked about how Jaden Johnson was a facilitator. He got the offense going, but I would like to see him be a scorer right now. His team needs scoring desperately. 64.5 points a game is not going to be enough to even come close to this Tiger team tonight. So he's got to become a scorer and a facilitator.
Mitchell all the way in, lobs it up, and Phillips slams it home on the other end.
Max, are we giving Mark Mitchell enough credit for how good of a passer he is? Like, this man is a phenomenal passer. Like, I'm here for it. He's got that who do you think you are, I am type energy right now, and I'm here for it, Mr. Mark Mitchell. I love it.
He's got 13 6 and 5 right now. We talk about a Mr. just do it all type of player. There's the lob on the other side that ends a little differently.
Just Mark Mitchell doing Mark Mitchell things. And this is the 2nd or 3rd time tonight he's got to the middle and dumped down to that, flashing cutter on the baseline side.
How many times does he just suck in the defense and then either kick it back out or lob it up for somebody cutting down the baseline? It's so hard to defend. This time he turns the faces, can't do it himself.
And Mark Mitchell puts a lot of pressure on the defense. You have to come over and help with his size and his speed and his ability to finish at the rim. You got to come over and help. Once that secondary defender comes over, then it's advantage basketball for the offense, just making the right play.
Clark going right at Robinson and a late whistle. And even later, what? From Anthony Robinson after that foul came in. That is his 2nd foul. The only real player in foul trouble in this game at this stage is T.O. Barry, who's on the bench right now with 3 fouls. Now that is Anthony Robinson's 3rd, excuse me.
And that's another thing Coach Gates talked about. He talked about keeping them off the free throw line, no unnecessary fouls. Don't give, SCSU easy buckets from the free throw line.
Both these teams have really struggled from the free throw line this year. It's now 6 of 8 tonight. That's 75% compared to 64.2% on the year. That's 348th in the country entering this week for the Bulldogs. Now when you're having trouble finding scoring because you're not shooting well from the floor or from 3, you need these to fall when you get the opportunity.
Absolutely. And you got to be knocking both of these down. Playing against a team like Mizzou on the road, you gotta knock every single free throw down or close to it.
Pressure again, and even when they're not creating turnovers, Mizzou's only got 4. This look really means that Mizzou has to take a long time to finally get into their sets offensively. That gets to the free throw line too strong. That had to be an offensive goal.
Yeah, looked like going to me. And saw Sebastian Mack come off that, snake that ball screen, get downhill, and if SCSU is going to drop coverage that's a mid-range pull-up every time. Now, for the Tigers, that's a bronze level shot. That's not their favorite shot per se, that mid-range, but it's a great shot, especially if they're going to guard and drop coverage.
We talked about the mid-range shot and those difficult 2s with head coach Eric Martin at South Carolina State when they were doing shoot-around today. You asked him how analytical this staff was and this program is. He's still a guy kicking it old school.
And I like that. I can appreciate the novel things. I can really appreciate that.
Tough interior pass deflected. Mack rips it away. Stumbling his whole way down the floor. Gets it right back, reloads, slides it up, and misses the 3 with Phillips right there.
And you see that loose ball going right there. Jaden Johnson has the opportunity to dive on that ball and get that 50-50 ball. And he decides not to. And that's that play. You need one play like that to be contagious for the rest of your team and get your guys going.
Well, an incredible layup there, and the footwork sublime from Phillips Jr., but A technical foul after the bucket went down for Sebastian Mack. That's the 13th of the game, the second against the Tigers. It's been an emotional game, given that the margin is as high as it is, and it's been that way most of the night.
Yeah, and I think it's just, just the competitive nature. Just the competitive nature. I think most people in college basketball know of or really know each other. Kind of speaking of, Stephen Wright, assistant coach for the MIZ Tigers, and Coach Redden, the coach for SCSU, and just like their relationship that they have, and it's just competitive basketball here. I think people like each other, and just emotions can get high sometimes.
Now the floor for the Tigers, number 5.
So Mack will come out, and T.O. Barrett will come in. Eric Martin's a guy who also played many years overseas. You played overseas. What do you bring back from playing abroad in Europe in terms of how it helps you as a coach? Kind of a different mindset, seeing the game played in a very different way.
Yeah, it's much different. There's a big contrast between NBA basketball, which I was fortunate enough to be a part of for a small stint, and European basketball. The difference, I think, is just the X's and O's. You have to do the X's and O's things and draw stuff up, exotic sets, kind of things to get you open and create opportunities for scoring. In the NBA, you got athleticism that can get you buckets and get down in transition. So much different when it comes to just the half-court sets. And it's just X's and O's from the coaches. They're way more involved, I would say, overseas and in Europe.
Fourth shot of the possession. It doesn't fall for Jaden Johnson. He hasn't made a shot yet, but he will head to the free throw line. Tremendous effort from a few different Bulldogs during that spell, including Owen Bronson Jr., who followed his own miss well. So that went against T.O. Barrett, and that is his 4th foul.
And you hate that for him, because you want to see him get minutes, productive minutes, be out there playing, but you have 4 fouls. I'm not sure how long he'll stay out there. As we speak, he getting subbed out with Honor Boateng. But you like to see him get those reps in these games and really build that confidence and see that ball go through the net a few more times.
And when this is the first game in the few weeks that Jaden Stone will be out too, there's minutes to be made up for, right? And Honor Boateng coming back with an injury. Sounded like he might not be on a minutes restrictions type of night here tonight like he was on Thursday, but he's working his way back. The depth has been on full display, though, really throughout the season to this point.
Yeah, and I think talking with Coach Kyle Smith-Peters, he said they're comfortable playing, 10, 11, 12 players, and they're totally fine with it. They have the ability, the athleticism, the size, and the skill set to do that throughout the season.
Phillips fighting for it and just powering it up through contact. Look ahead all the way down to Clark, who beat Porter down the floor and gets fouled.
A good outlet pass right there by SCSU. Not soaking about the play, being scored on, not pouting about it, but getting back down the court, getting a transition pass and getting fouled, getting to the free throw line.
Struggles they have had offensively tonight and throughout the first 6.5 games now. It's great when they can get out and run and get a transition moment like that. It took a heck of a pass over the top, a rainbow, to get it to him, but right on the money.
And this young man coming in the game right now, Ray Neal Wright, I really think he's a game changer. Just the relentlessness he brings to the game and just a no-fear attitude. I think in that position, going for loose balls, he's going for those. He's trying to make game-winning plays every single moment he's on the court.
He steps up when the lights are brightest in the opener at Louisville. That was and still is a season-best 11 points. He had 9 steals combined in the first 2 games, too. Got the mouth guard hanging out. He gets low and really moves his feet well.
Just giving me real Patrick Beverly vibes out there, just being pesky on defense and turning Anthony Robinson.
All the way in, blocked by a couple. Looks like the Bulldogs there. This place. Out of bounds to MIZ. That did raise the rim, so shot clock didn't get a chance to reset. We are going to look at this, though. And this will send us to our immediate timeout first in the second half. 6-6 start out of the gate here. This play still being looked at. Jamal, what'd you see here right before we went to break?
Well, first of all, I love the take by Honor Boateng, just going in hard as he does in usual fashion. But then going to the ground, it looks like he throws the ball off the back of the calf of Noah Treadwell. And I don't know if it's a question of the shot clock, but clearly that was out on the Bulldogs. So I think it's a matter of where the shot clock's going to be for the Tigers.
Sunday night, SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass to the SEC Women's Volleyball Tournament, semifinals, and championship match. You'll get never-before-seen footage and sound from players and coaches. A real behind-the-scenes look. It's at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on the SEC Network and the all-new ESPN app. So it looks like everything will remain the same. Shot clock at 19. It was a heady play from Boateng as he was falling down there to put it right off the calf of Noah Treadwell. Stephen Anderson, Nathan Bemis, and Chris Ford on the officiating crew here tonight. They go right back to Boateng. No continuation, so that's a foul on the floor.
A really good. Sorry about that, Max. But a really good play right there with Boateng just ducking in, finding the mismatch, and just keeping the game simple. And he's done that a lot, just finding the spots, picking them, cutting at the right time, making things simple.
Jacob Cruz at the shot fake, sidestep, bounce pass in to Northweather. Good find in the corner. Boateng drives it all the way and lost it on the dunk attempt. The ball movement at times, though, has been incredibly crisp for the Tigers.
Very good. And also, on the other side of that, the Bulldogs doing a good job of running, the Tigers off the three-point line and not letting them get open threes. They're really doing a good job, making things difficult for them, closing out with the high hand and making them make the extra play.
Boateng in his return at 3 points. Only one field goal attempt at 14 minutes and 3 turnovers. He's been much more involved here tonight. Man who played 17 games, started 7 last year. Scored just under 2 points a game. Former 2-time Arkansas Gatorade Player of the Year. Really, for South Carolina State, outside of Bronston, nobody else has more than 5 points. He just hasn't gotten much help.
Yeah, they've just really struggled to score the ball all season. And, as a player that I'm sure they're getting the reps up in practice. I'm sure they're working hard and putting in extra work. And to not see those shots fall, it can get frustrating. But they have to understand that the tides will turn.
White throws it into the backcourt. Boateng hits it in stride, lost his footing and missed the layup. Up one to pick up, look up and score. Leads to a transition 3 the other way. There is Bronston. Tyndall and a reach-it foul. Tough moment here in transition for Honor Boateng. He's had a nice night.
Yeah, Honor Boateng, I think he was in between going up to maybe try to dunk it or deciding if he was going to lay it up, and he got caught in the middle and and his foot slipped from underneath him. Actually, now that I see it a little bit better, his foot definitely slipped from underneath him.
Turnover on the inbounds. Here come the Tigers the other way. Robinson step back, swirls out. Porter and Cruz were right there, but kind of bumped into each other on the offensive rebound.
That's an okay problem to have. Two Tigers going after a rebound and just, losing the handle. That's an okay mistake to have right there.
Porter's got 3 points tonight. Cruz has 2. A couple of Tigers who have been very quiet. That's going to go against Bronston. And Boateng doing a lot of little things.
Yeah, and you can see Bronston right there getting a little frustrated, missing a couple shots, and just being a little frustrated with how he's being guarded and pushed off right in front of the referee, make an easy call.
And that kind of game, and that's being the defender of a guard and just being a thorn in his side, and physical as much as it is mental, right?
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. I played at a mid-major, Southern Illinois, and you got to be scrappy. You got to be up into somebody. You got to fight for every possession and just be disruptive.
Right, probing, bounce pass inside. A bunny miss right on the doorstep. Rainiel Wright had a season-high 8 assists last game. Does not have a single one yet here tonight. Boateng wide open. And now will be a chance for Jacob Cruz to get 1,000. He had 2 free throws earlier. He doesn't have a bucket. His first 4 points came at the line last game. And we're on to a performance where he had 15 points and made 3 threes. He's got 14 plus at 4 straight. 1 free throw for 1,000. And he's got it right there.
There you go. You kind of wonder if that had been on his mind. And now he's got that milestone. He's got that accolade and moving forward.
When you dream about a moment like that, we talked about it, a few nights to sleep on it. I'm sure you're thinking, I mean, he had a few threes to potentially get it. He had a potential alley-oop dunk in transition. Maybe not the sexiest way to hit a free throw, but that's probably how a coach would like to see it go down.
Right, and it's the easiest way, you know, one of the easier ways to get it done.
3 turnovers in the last 2 minutes on this end. Bronson triggers another 3, air ball.
You know, Brunson did not get the result he wanted with that, but I like that action just did. Ran up off a ram action, came into a ghost screen, so he slipped out of that. And Mizzou helped out, helped kind of hedge. It left Brunson open for a wide open shot, just couldn't knock it down. That was a good action just in on the Bulldogs.
Entered tonight shooting 44% from deep, but 54%, 14 of 26 over his last 5 games. So he's fallen off a little bit, but you see, I mean, he's the guy hitting all the threes for the team tonight. An area in which they have really struggled this year. They make 6 threes a game and shoot at just over 32%. I think their offense has been working it as well as they did in the first half, it feels like. No field goals in the last 2:30 for the Tigers. They've missed their last 4.
Yeah, and I feel like they're still getting open shots. Just some of them aren't falling, you know, some of them aren't falling. And you have to give some credit to SCSU. They're really getting up and they're pressuring, switching the defenses up, and they're kind of keeping Mizzou off balance a little bit, out of rhythm and on their heels.
How tough can it be getting the defense organized in November? It feels like these November games are more important than they've ever been before, but when you have so many different bodies and so many different formations and tactics that you use on the defensive end.
Yeah, we spoke to Coach Eric Martin about that, and he just talked about being patient. He knows there are going to be some growing pains, you know, and you know, having a complex defensive, you know, system, it kind of makes things difficult for the new people coming in that haven't been with that coach. And you know, he just said he has to be patient with the young man and know that there's going to be some growing pains.
Rainiel Wright going to work, slicing his way all the way in, rejected by Cruz, but a foul. It's the loudest block of the night.
I'm going to keep saying it. Rainiel Wright is fearless. He's fearless. He looked at Jacob Cruz and said, hey, congratulations on your 1,000 points. I'm coming at you. I'm going for some points of my own tonight. I love the fearlessness of this man. This man is absolutely fearless.
Averaged 10.5 points a game last year at West LA College. In year 1 playing with the Bulldogs. Guy was just earning more and more minutes early on in the season. He's the backup point guard on paper, but he played 27 minutes for South Dakota. This is the free throw, or he's 12 of 19 on the season now. Second on the team in assists. I mean, look at all he did last game. 8 points, 4 boards, and 8 assists for a man who stands at 6 feet.
He plays so much bigger than that. Plays like a little Chris Paul, just with that chip on his shoulder. And I can see towards the end of these games, if he stays healthy and things keep going this way, he'll start finishing games. He'll be in at the end of a lot of games just with his intensity and his ability to get to the basket, get both feet in the lane, and guard also.
Great cut from Mark Mitchell on the opposite wing. He'll head back to the free throw line. He's 3 of 4 from a charity stripe tonight to go with those 7 rebounds and 5 assists. 52 free throw attempts for the senior from Kansas City in his first 6 games.
And Mark Mitchell, man, he's just a young man. He can do it all. He really can. He can pass the ball. He can take you off the dribble. Just a little bit of everything. Just like, you know, what do you want when you play? I'll have a little bit of everything. Mark Mitchell, thank you. Impressive player.
He had that game where he really struggled from the free throw line in the home opener against SEMO, which is 5 of 11 on a night in which he had a season best 29 points. So when he can knock down the free throws, scoring can come in bunches because he is nearly an unstoppable force when he's got the basketball.
And I think that big game he had scoring-wise against SEMO was the reason for that win. They needed every point that he could provide in that game against Zemo, and that was big.
Koji looking inside. Robinson doing the dirty work with the bigger James Smarrow on top of him, but that's a foul against Anthony Robinson. That should be his 4th, and he would join and will join T.O. Barrett. They both have 4, and Barrett's going to come back in, or at least off the bench quickly. Yeah, he's going to check back in.
You know, Max, we haven't seen this combination of Reno Wright and Jaden Johnson a lot tonight. I think Coach is probably trying that out to see what that looks like, but we haven't seen it a ton tonight, and it's going to be a good look having 2 people that are able to penetrate, get in the lane, and make plays for others. I think going a little smaller might be a good look for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, they got 2 facilitators out there. Eric Martin described, Jaden Johnson's a player who can create his own shot. He can shoot off somebody else's creation too, and Raniel Wright is a guy who gets downhill and creates for others. The ability to cut and dish.
Like I said before, I would just like to see Jaden Johnson be a little more aggressive offensively. Look at the score. They've struggled to score the basketball, I've said many times tonight, so he wouldn't be doing his team a disservice to shoot the ball a few more times to get into the offensive action.
Back trying to turn the corner on Morrow. He does and gets all the way into the cup. Lead up to 30 for the Tigers. Dangerous skip pass. Cruz read it well. In transition, the lob, and the finish. T.O. Barrett.
And you saw that alley-oop coming, that lob coming from a mile away. Jacob Cruz slowed it down, got it to T.O. Barrett, and that's the type of bucket T.O. Barrett needs right now. With the 4 fouls and not being able to get a whole lot of action, that was the action he needed this end.
On a night he thought he'd probably get some more minutes, but he's been in foul trouble. I mean, how good does it feel when you check back into the game and immediately you find yourself in transition for a dunk opportunity? So Koji gets a couple back. Phillips, extra pass, Cruz! It's a dunk fest here in Thoma.
And the Tigers are back to playing fast, getting the ball up the court, and that TPH time past half that Coach Gates talks about often is happening right now with the early pitch aheads and just getting the ball out and going.
And with Treadwell. So 11:30 left. Mizzou still right on this pace to end the night. Triple digits, potentially get 100 points again. The lob just a little bit too tall for Phillips, but a foul. You really got to get it up there if it's too tall for Sean Phillips Jr., the 7-footer out of Dayton, Ohio. Well, this might have been the biggest momentum play of the night. Got the crowd on their feet. Cruz to Barrett. Flex on him, young fella, after he comes in off the bench. The immediate alley-oop jam. This is the matchup. What better place to be than on your living room couch on a Friday night when you're still tired from Thanksgiving the day before, right? ABC, Texas A&M versus Texas. What a showdown. We already told you what Arch Manning pulled off last week. 389 yards, 6 total touchdowns. The touchdown reception was probably the headliner there, but he's going against that Aggies defense. Second in the nation with 39 sacks. It's going to be a great week of college basketball. And then over the weekend, there was a lot left to be determined in the SEC, in the country, in the college football playoff. It's all on the line this weekend. Gotta love late November. It's got a lot going for it.
Yeah, a lot. And just, the overlap of both sports and just getting into the heat of the season for basketball and football as well. It's just a great time, Then, like I said, we got Thanksgiving coming up, as we talked about and touched on before.
We're deep enough into the year where there's samples grown, where you can start talking about, who's the best in the country in certain areas and feel better about that being more of an accurate statement. Starting to feel out who's going to be competing for conferences all around the country.
And you just have some more competitive matchups where, the higher ranked teams are going against some of the higher ranked teams. You can kind of see, what those teams have and how competitive they're actually going to be.
Finally saw the first unranked team to beat a ranked team earlier, just in the last 48 hours. I think it was a 92-0 start for ranked teams versus unranked teams. They haven't had many headline upsets this year. Jaden Johnson going to do it all himself. Kicks it back out. Bronston straight away and straight in.
And that's a man you can't let you can't let him see the ball go in the basket too many times. You don't want that to happen because he's a scorer. He can score in bunches, and you don't want to let that man get going.
Bob inside, Phillips. When he's got position, oh no, Koji, he's done that a few times tonight. A lot of looks right at the rim.
You got a 7-footer versus 7-footer in this situation right there, and you see the Tiger 7-footer comes out victorious in that situation. And you've seen the high-low situation so many times tonight, just going over the top, getting that ball into the mid-post, high post, going over the top, just easy basketball, making plays.
Only the third field goal attempt for Jaden Johnson, the preseason MEAC Player of the Year, still without a bucket. Phillips, meanwhile, 1 point away from tying a career high he set right here in Como in the home opener. His first time in front of the Mizzou fans. Cruz still hasn't gotten going much. His team has got a ton of depth when it comes to scoring, though. Bronston 1-on-2 going right at Mark Mitchell. Scoops and scores with the left, but oh no. Came up Gimpy on the landing. I gotta hope this is just a cramp and nothing more.
Seems like it might be, by the way. He's got his heel to the ground, pressing his toes up in there. Yep, that's what it looks like. Hopefully it's not an ankle or a foot injury.
You know that one well.
I do. Actually, over the years, 4 ankle surgeries and 9 or 10 surgeries total. So definitely the bionic man standing over here. Hopefully he's okay over there on the sideline, though.
And he's really been giving it his all here tonight. 17 of the team's 45 points. He's still got all of their 3-pointers that have been made, all 4 of them.
And you see Brunson over there hydrating and stretching, and so I'm assuming it's just a cramp, and they're going to need him to get back in the game soon if they want some consistent scoring.
Cruz, can he finally hit one? No. T.O. Barrett knocks it around. Pinballs towards Phillips, another chance for the Tigers.
You know, Max, I wonder if, with such a high percentage from the 3-point line, if Jacob Cruz maybe starts pressing and thinking about that 3-point percentage as you shoot, or is he just out there shooting the ball like he knows he can do? That's something that may go through your head from time to time. It's like that percentage may be dropping as you shoot and miss a couple here and there.
And that's what you got to fight through when you're a shooter, right? I mean, he is 1 for 7 today, 0 of 5 from 3, only 5 points for a man who entered tonight. First in the SEC at 3-point percentage, 6th in the entire country. But you're going to run hot and cold at times. That's what happens to 3-point shooters.
Yep.
You just got to fight through it mentally.
Yeah, and you can't think, oh, I'm in a slump, and this is not good. Shooters shoot the ball, and, I can look back to times as, playing as a college basketball player and thinking about, hey, my average is at 18. I got to get close to that average. It goes to your head, it runs to your head, but you try not to make it a focal point for the game for yourself, and you try to get the teammates involved. But it definitely runs to your head, those points and percentages, and some more for others. And yeah, you just got to play through it, like you said.
Coach Gates has the world to say about Jacob Cruz, too, and we talked about him earlier. Not just that he's shooting 62% from 3, and he improved so much in his shooting last year, but his role this year, a guy who's just going and doing the dirty work, too. 8 rebounds in 2 of the last 3 games. He's averaging over 5 rebounds a game for a man coming in off the bench who's really known for the shooting. Trent Burns will check in for a second time, but when we asked him about Cruz and why he's so much better this year, he just talked about, hey, he wasn't used to this level until he came to Como a year ago, and he was used to being a starter, so it was a very different transition for him. Maybe it wasn't the smoothest, but now he knows, hey, I'm coming off the bench, I'm going to give you a little over 20 minutes, and he knows that he's playing a role as opposed to being the guy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking to Coach Gates, just that smile that went on his face when you asked him about those 8 rebounds and how Jacob Cruz does more than just shoots the ball. He rebounds for you. He makes the extra play. He makes the extra pass. And his face kind of lit up. That was one of the few smiles that we got talking to him. But a great guy. And I just love to see that smile on his face when you ask him that question.
Ball goes the other way against Mack. It'll be his 3rd, including that technical. But yeah, the intensity that's always displayed on the face of Dennis Gates. You see it on the sideline throughout the game, throughout the full 40 minutes. We see that, too, after free throws at the end of shoot around when we talk to him, but he snuck in a little smile there when we asked about the rebounding ability of Jacob Cruz.
You got him.
Hands came down there, couldn't go straight up. Good Trent Burns. And earlier you caught Flory and Tenebe fearless. That's 6'6", going at 7'5".
Oh, yeah, with absolute reckless abandon, just going through his chest and trying to take any body part he can with him. And good take. I think Trent Burns was in a tough position. That's a tough foul to get right there because he looked pretty straight up. Kind of maybe got caught off guard a little bit, maybe a little off balance, but I think good take by Thoma.
Gotta be hard to practice going up against and right into the body of a 7'5" now.
Yeah, I don't even know how that works. What are the logistics in that to make that work in practice?
Yeah, that's when you got the student manager with the big stick thing that he's just hanging on, the big padded thing. I'm not sure if he's reaching 7'5" though.
Right, but what are they using as his chest though? Exactly. Like, you know, you got to put the pad up there too. I guess.
Size in multiple departments. Free throw good. So 8 minutes and 27 seconds. Mizzou shooting 47%. Talk about that stretch to begin the year where they've shot above 50% in every single contest. They've come a little bit down to earth after that incredible start, especially from deep.
Just a fantastic
you got to tip your cap
start.
to the
Yes.
SCSU defense in that regards.
And that they've done all game. There's been a few lackadaisical possessions from SCSU where they didn't really guard. They closed out too hard. It didn't close out enough. But they've been solid pretty much the rest of the game from that point on.
Birds inside, gets the bucket, his first collegiately. Crowd loves that.
You gotta love that. Just a man that waited his time to get on the court, was patient, trusted the process, stayed here at Mizzou, and gets in and gets his first bucket with his parents in attendance.
Moving well on these screens defensively. Scoring pace has slowed down a little bit for Mizzou, a team that put up 102 points last game. And Matt, it's been kind of a frustrating night for him at times. That's his fourth foul in 23 minutes. But that's one happy man trotting over towards his teammates. We actually had to talk to his parents briefly during halftime. They were pumped. His mom was a little teary-eyed. That's the first bucket for the redshirt freshman at 7'5". A long time coming for a man who's worked his tail off to come back. Well, maybe the happiest folks in attendance here at Mizzou Arena tonight. They were on the scoreboard earlier because that is Trent Burns' family, his parents in attendance. They were emotional earlier when he checked in for the very first time. These are things you just love to see no matter who you are.
Yeah, because you got to, this is their son. Watch them grow up, and then he gets into his first college basketball game, scores his first points, and you're in attendance. That's a beautiful moment, man. Just a beautiful family, and just a great young man, just a light, just a shining light, just an awesome player, awesome person.
And for a top 100 recruit who had to wait so long, the 7'5" guy who comes in, they talk about him being the second tallest player in D1 basketball, had to be so patient. And it's so tough to find patience these days, it feels like, in collegiate athletes. So all the more rewarding to see him play in these minutes, getting his first bucket, just checking off some firsts for him collegiately.
We talk about his size a lot, but this man can shoot the basketball. I watched him make 6, 7 threes in a row in practice yesterday. Can pass the ball, can space the floor out, and a very just high IQ guy. He's a good player, and so he brings more than just the height to the table.
And he moves well. He glides. Not just when he's running, but when he's shuffling his feet defensively and he's in the ball screens. Plus the length is out of this world.
Yeah, that would be tough. Imagine 7'5" coming at you on a hedge after ball screen. You're getting rid of that thing quick.
Matt couldn't get the lob figured out to him. He does not need to jump too high to complete the alley-oop. .5 with that reach. I mean, Timo Koji is 7'1" who's guarding him. But he's got position down low. And that foul would go against Koji, the junior from Frisco, Texas. You got two 7-footers from the state of Texas battling down low right now.
And man, both of these teams are going through their entire bench. They're bringing them in, like bringing them out. They are going down the depth chart. Both teams, everybody getting the opportunity to play and show what they can do.
I mean, for South Carolina State, you could say they're going to fall to 0-7 as Okoji's fouled out. Finishes with 4 fouls. He's been scoreless in 4 of the last 6 games, so only played 10 minutes last game versus South Dakota. A 1-point loss where, by the way, they trailed by 20 about midway through the second half. Came all the way back, took the lead with just over 40 seconds left. Only led for 17 seconds all game, though. They gave up the lead. About 23 seconds to go and lost by 1. But they're only going to improve from here. The wins are coming. And you got to think, tests like this in a true road setting at Mizzou. They opened up at Louisville. Only had one home game. It was versus Chattanooga. There's the size of Burns.
Did you see how much ground he just covered on that play? Goodness. My goodness.
Didn't stand a chance to get the shot up, and Porter converts on the other end.
And Mizzou turning good defense into great offense just then. Porter knocking down the open three.
7-5 was that reachability. I mean, you got to make sure you got a good window to get the shot up over him.
And yeah, you were speaking about the loss, that close loss where they came back the other night, and that's a heartbreaking way to lose. And you know, especially when you came back, you worked that hard, you fought to get back in the game. You think you have a chance, and you lose at the end. Tough way to go.
Some nice moments down the stretch of the second half for Trent Burns. How about it? No chance for Jada Johnson.
You know,
taking away the airspace and then in transition. Javon Porter with the triple.
And Javon Porter is so good at getting out in transition and finding space in the court, because you have an opportunity where you could cut to the basket. But Mizzou wants to get those threes. They play in the analytics games. They're going on numbers. He gets to the right spot. He's found. He knocks it down.
And South Carolina State missed to finish up on it. They're going to learn a lot from the schedule in November. They're going to be a lot better for it once they get to MEAC play. Wide open three. That's a miss. Mizzou still shooting just a little bit below 50%. Porter Drake finds Boateng with one hand. Oh, drops the anvil.
He's been dropping them in soft all night, and he said, you know what, it's time for it. It's time for the hammer.
The rim, he was just treating it too kindly, and then when the floor slipped him up when he had a chance to dunk, he said, I'm not messing around this time.
Yeah, he took that personally. He took that real personally.
Just cocked it back. It's a great find, too, from Javon Porter. He's been a little quiet tonight. Help with the scoring and the rebounding, but he can be a good facilitator, too. That's 4 assists tonight.
And I think, you know, like Coach Gates talked about it. He said that he wanted that 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. And he's close to it. They're passing the ball phenomenally right now. Everyone's touching the ball. I don't think anyone is like, I'm not getting my touches. Everyone's getting their minutes. They're getting their touches. They're getting their opportunities. Playing good basketball.
16 assists, only 6 turnovers, which means they only have 2 giveaways in the second half.
Yeah, they're almost at a 3-to-1 assist turnover ratio. And I know Coach Gates is probably holding back a smile right now thinking about that one. That's just a, you know, good thing for the Tigers, especially at the pace they play at.
Burns with the handoff. Barrett gives it right back to him. Give and go, and the flush finish. This is a night that Trent Burns is not going to forget.
Absolutely. This is a fun team to watch. When they're rolling and they're passing the ball and they're sharing the ball and getting out in transition and making things happen quickly out of that secondary offense, they're a fun team to watch, man.
Got 4 players in double figures. They had 6 last Thursday against South Dakota. It was almost it over and back. Radio Wright was pretty close. Scoops it up and over with the left.
Impressive.
Got it above the 6'11" Javon Porter.
Impressive. And you know when he gets downhill and gets those shoulders turned on the hips of the defense, he's going to the rack. He is getting there, going to the rack, whether you block it or not. He's getting there.
A level of difficulty there for the 6-foot backup point guard. Mack all the way in, lost it. Richard foul goes against Blackston Jr. That'll be his second. Both teams are in the double bonus.
And that's Sebastian Mack's another difficult guard. Once he gets those shoulders on your hips and a little bit past you, he's getting into your body, he's finding the body, and then he's switching up his pace. He's making it. He's a difficult guard. You know, need a tracking device to keep up with this man. GPS if you're out there.
There's another guy who's got great lateral quickness when he's got the basketball. He's really tough to defend because he creates space so quickly. Great court vision, too, for the UCLA transfer is Nicholas Randall, the 6'9", true freshman from just east of us in St. Louis. Another top 100 recruit for this Dennis Gates staff. Just bring it in. As it's been talked about ad nauseum of late, especially the #1 class in the country next year. Jacob Cruz will check back in. He's just 1 of 7 tonight, 5 for 3.
It's amazing how Mizzou is one of the top in almost every category in the nation, like whether it be recruiting, whether it be shooting, whether it be height. They're close to the top in almost every category. It's pretty impressive.
Johnson all the way in. There's Burns again, but it's a goaltend.
Goaltending. That was close. That was close.
He's smiling about it. He's laughing about it. You got to love that. He's like, ah, man, I had this. Comes over, helps side. You be the judge. I think he might have hit the backboard just before he got it.
And it might have been on his way down, too. And you know, Jaden Johnson, that is good to see him.
34-point lead for the Tigers. They have been feasted at the rim. Boateng drops the hammer. They go right back in. Burns, his first career dunk.
Ruling on the court is goaltending.
It's feast week, and Mizzou is coming back for seconds. $88-54 the score as the officials went to review the goaltending call on the floor. This is a goaltending call that looks like it will remain.
After review, the ruling on the floor is confirmed. Goaltending against Missouri. Timeout is charged to Missouri, and they are out of challenges.
Perfect timing there. I mean, it's a goaltend, but if you look more broad at this, man, the ability to go up and hit this.
Yeah, just him to even have the ability to get there to that spot and slide his feet over and then contest. Those are the plays that you make that make the team on offense hold the ball next time and swing it. When you think they have the open lane and they swing the ball because they know Big Trent Burns is down there.
I mean, the guard in you, how does it change your job and your role when you know there's a man standing that tall with that much length in the post?
Well, if I'm on defense, I love it. If I'm on defense, then I have someone that's there that can help me out. If I get beat, I don't have to foul. I don't have to pick up senseless fouls because I know I have help on that backside.
There's the lob to him. This time it's converted. His second dunk. Tigers up to 90.
And if I'm on offense, I love it too because I can throw that lob to him. He's like, I love that. So just having a presence out there like that, 7'5" presence that can move, can defend, it does nothing but help the Tigers.
And give up a lot of room when he's guarding on the perimeter. Saw the block earlier on the jumper for Jaden Johnson. Johnson probing this time. Squeezes his way through and puts it in off the glass.
And that's what I like to see. I would like to see more of that from Jaden Johnson. Even if he gets a shot, altered or blocked, just going downhill trying to make a play. And that time he made it happen. Similar take as Raynell Wright coming with that left hand and going up and over the top. He identified Trent Burns early that time and got that ball over the top before he took off.
Burns mishandles the entry pass this time. Johnson up to 7 points, now just shy of his season average. Raynell Wright with the high floater, soft touch.
He's playing good basketball, man. Really playing good basketball.
You brought it up earlier, the different look when they're both out there, both your point guards. And it's led to some easy shots at the rim, just like that for T.O. Barrett. Barrett's got 9 points. That matches his career best. Despite the 4 fouls, he's maybe looked the best he's looked all night since he picked up the 4th and came back in.
He has, and he's kind of playing with, a nothing-to-lose type attitude, just going for it.
Raynell Wright hits Burns in the air, shovel pass, easy bucket.
Making plays every single time he touches the ball.
Tyndall gets the bucket. That's his second. Jaden Johnson. Hands in the passing lane. To get it across, though. There's 7 turnovers tonight. Mizzou is really taking good care of the basketball, and that was the biggest thing Dennis Gates talked about with us. He most wanted to see change tonight. Because last time out, they turned the ball over 17 times. And yeah, they won by 34, but still things to work on in November, certainly.
Yeah, 17 turnovers is absolutely too many. You got to cut that down almost close to half. 10, 11 turnovers is sufficient for the pace they play at. Don't want 17, though, that's for sure.
Tanabay back up to 11 points for the second straight game. He ties his season best. Foul in the backcourt. Less than 2 minutes to go. Final break here on this Tuesday night. Mizzou looking to improve to 7-0. Less than 2 to play here on this Tuesday night as part of Feast Week, and Mizzou can see this win well within their sights. That's been the case most of the night. But in the near future, Friday, 1 p.m. start versus Cleveland State, and then things start to pick up, right? At Notre Dame in South Bend, it's just the second time I leave the state of Missouri. Then you've got the neutral court game versus Kansas. That's at KC. After the Bethune-Cookman game, neutral court game in St. Louis versus a very, very good Illinois team. So all this confidence that they've been able to build up, all the chemistry they've been able to gel over the last month, that's when it's going to really start to get tested for this team away from home.
Yeah, and I think they've had enough experience and enough time to gel to go on the road or go to these neutral sites and do very well. I don't see any problems with them going out the Kansas game. I don't see a problem. They have found a system that works for them. Tonight they did a good job limiting the turnovers. I think they'll be successful. They didn't shoot the ball as well as they normally do, especially from the three-point line, and they still are up, 30 with a minute and a half to go. So I see them being very successful on the road, and don't see any issues for them right now. They rebounded the ball well, and they took care of the ball.
And the incredible start from three. Only 28% though on the night as it stands. 7 of 25. 7 threes from 6 different players. Javon Porter, the only one who's hit multiple. 6 points away from crossing that 100 plateau for the 3rd time this season and the 2nd time in as many games. North Carolina State pretty much right at their season average. The average just over 64. Ray Neal right with the handles all the way in, left hand, no good.
He's a crafty little player, man. He's a crafty little player. I can't say it enough. I like his tenacity. I love it. And when he gets downhill, Max, he's probably not passing that ball. He'll dump it down every once in a while, but he's going to score that. Nice
gets his man in the air. That's over the 7-5 Burns.
His timing is really good. He's identifying, where the help is coming from early. He's getting his eyes open, and then knowing that he has that shot and at the perfect time to take it. He's not waiting for that help to come.
Up to 10 points, one shy of his season high, which came against an ACC opponent. It's the toughest opponents. That's when Wright's been his best. Cruz trying to get power dribble and gets the friendly roll right over the rim. Just his 2nd bucket of the night. Less than a minute to go. 3rd matchup all time between these two teams. Mizzou going to move to 3-0.
Yeah, SU, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine down the stretch. I think, Coach Martin said it right. He's not panicking. There's no need to, like I said, pull the fire alarm or there's not an emergent situation. But there is a necessity for urgency, and they showed that throughout the game, and they're still showing it right now. They're still playing with intensity. They haven't given up. I don't see that glazed over look that I saw in the beginning of the game. I think they just had to see the ball go in the basket a few times and make a couple hustle plays. And what I really liked about them towards the end is they gave 2nd and 3rd and 4th efforts, because the first effort is just not going to be good enough for a team as big and as athletic and as skilled as Mizzou.
It's an 0-7 start for the Bulldogs, and after an incredible season where they crossed 20 wins, it's been a brutal start for a team that always is going to have a gauntlet of a schedule in November. This feels like they got to get that one win. They couldn't get over the hurdle over South Dakota. And once you get one, maybe they start to fall. They can knock that first domino down. But patience, the name of the game for Eric Martin. He said that's tough with young kids these days.
Yeah, it's tough for a coach to have the patience in it. It's tough to instill, hey, trust the process, be patient. There are going to be some lumps and some growing pains, but we're going to be fine. It's hard to sometimes instill that into young people.
Cleaned out by Nicholas Randall. He gets his first bucket. All 11 players that have touched the court tonight for the Tigers have a made field goal. Depth on full display. Talked about that from the open. 10 seconds left. Mizzou up by 32. Going to fall just short of 100 points, it looks like. Wright still going to work, though. Forcing the issue. It'll be a nice moment for him to end the night. Tenacious, young backup point guard. Tigers move to 7-0 under Dennis Gates this year, his 4th season. And this team, they shot it over 50% for the 7th game in a row. 52% today. They continue to be incredibly efficient from the floor.
Yeah, and when you have the post presence that they have, and you have guys that can get downhill, get into the teeth of the defense, you're going to shoot a high percentage. They're getting high-quality shots, and their transition looks that they're getting are excellent shots, too. You can expect for them to shoot at a high clip and a high percentage, usually.
I think we just saw another smile. 9 turnovers, so he hit the goal, too. Mizzou falls under that double-digit turnover category. That was job number 1 in the eyes of Dennis Gates for this Mizzou Tigers team here tonight. So that'll do it for Jamal Tatum, not Max Thoma. Thanks to our entire production crew here in Como, as we say so long on an emotional night as well for Trent Burns and his family. The Tigers take down the Bulldogs 98-66, the final. Have a good Thanksgiving, everybody.